Mavericks, this is Chelsea Mason with Fastenal. I am so excited to just give you a little insight into what our company can offer you as far as internships and career path planning. We are an industrial distribution and supply chain management company. Generally speaking, people don't necessarily know who Fastenal is because we're business to business. So some of the big name customers that we work with that you're familiar with are companies like Tesla and GE, Amazon, and Dell. We are an industrial distribution and supply chain management company, which means we actually provide them with the products they need to do their job. So that could be PPE, cleaning equipment, nuts and bolts, toilet paper, paper towels, office supplies, you name it. So I jokingly say we're kind of like the Costco for businesses. They can come to us for anything that they need to do their job and do it well. One of the things that when I started with the company, I was curious, why is it that Amazon needs a company like Fastenal to get their supplies when they can get packages to you and I next day? My thought was, why can't they get their own products? Well, they're so busy getting packages out next day to those of us who are ordering from them that they don't have time to keep up with their consumable materials. So that could be a pair of gloves or a safety vest or goggles for someone working on the line. So the very first time that Amazon employees touch those products is when they need to use them. So the cool thing about Fastenal is we actually source and procure and bring in the products, and then we take those products out to our customer sites and we fill the vending machines that they use to get those products out of for them. So they don't have to touch that product before they need to use it. So one of the cool things about Fastenal too is that we are the largest industrial vending machine company in the world. So we have over 100,000 vending machines on our company sites. You can actually see here under our solutions section that it's 113,000 vending machines. And that, when I think of a vending machine, I think, Cokes and candies and things like that. So we do have coil machines, but we also have 12 different kinds of machines, from weighted ones to asset protection lockers, things like that. So companies like Walmart and Target, they also use some of our machines to keep up with products and then keep up with asset protection. So those scanner guns that they use to do inventory can be locked up in one of our systems to make sure that they know where it's at and that it's being put back appropriately. Another really cool thing about the company is we have 3,200 locations, 3,400 now in the United States, and we're in 27 countries. Every year, we're typically adding a new country to those that we're servicing, because the companies that we work with all over the world, as they expand, they actually typically will go to the government and say, hey, this is my partner in industrial supply and solutions. I really need them to be able to have their business here too to support our business. So a lot of the companies we work with worldwide are advocating for us to expand our business as well. We're a true partnership. So we may sell products all day long, but when we walk into a customer site, our job is to figure out, what are your challenges? What's going well? What could be going better? And then we start looking at the solutions we offer, whether that be from a vending machine standpoint or one of our safety specialists or somebody in engineering. We bring those specialists out to help support the business needs. We're not really throwing things at them that they don't need. So we listen to the problems, we listen to the challenges, and we listen to what's going well, and we help improve upon those processes. One of the really cool things that Fastenal has too is that we have what's called FSB, so Fastenal School of Business. That is over 200 different trainings that you can actually learn from while working for the company. So you get to further your education internally as well. So we last year, you can see at the top here, we had over 800,000 trainings complete by our employees. Got 23,000 employees, and of those, 71% are customer facing. So the majority of our jobs is in person, because we're actually shaking hands and going out to our customer site and trying to figure out what we can do to build that relationship and rapport with them to make sure that we're the partner that they're looking for. We do have an internship program, and the really cool thing about our internship program is it runs through our part-time positions. When we hire you on as a part-timer, you can go through that internship program at any time. So you can do it at the beginning, you can do it a couple months in, whatever works for you. And it's pretty fluid. So there's no hard and fast start or stop date. So you could say 2 months into the job, like, hey, I really want to go through the internship program. Then we sign you up for that. It's a structured 12-week program. We can change the learning process a little bit and make it shorter or longer if needed. So we try to cater it to the students as well. If you are going to look for credit for school with your internship, we can also work with your career services program or your professors to make sure that we're hitting all the marks we need to hit in what you're learning so that you can get credit for school as well. These are paid part-time positions and super, super flexible. So the hours of the branches that you would be working in are 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., but we work around class schedules. So if you needed Tuesdays and Thursdays off for school, we could fill in your hours Monday, Wednesday, and Friday around what you needed us to. So we work really heavily with students all over the country and all over the world to make sure that you're learning what you need to, you're supporting our local businesses, and you're still able to make school a priority. We understand that when you're in school for a degree, that is your number one priority and that is your job. We hope to be an avenue where you can learn about real life scenarios while you're in school for your degree. One of the other things I wanted to mention too is we grow year over year. Every 5 years, we double in size as far as the company goes. So currently we have 23,000 employees. In 5 years, there's a good chance we'll have close to 40,000 employees. So this company is growing every year, year over year. And that really means for the students coming on board now is that you have the opportunity to learn and grow in a position and continue to move up into new roles, some of which are not even created yet. So I was one of those examples. I was a non-traditional student. I went back to school to finish my bachelor's at 27, already had my associate's degree, and I had a lot of experience, but I had a district manager that recruited me from a campus career fair in late 2019 and said, hey, you've got some really good experience. I think that you'd be a really good fit for some of the things that I need special projects wise, but I want you to start in a branch and really understand our business model. So the jobs that I'm recruiting for are in operations and supply chain and sales and warehouse. But I actually got to work in those part-time roles for almost a year before I moved into another role. The recruiting team wasn't actually created until late 2021, and I was about 6 months from graduating with my bachelor's in HR. I knew I wanted to be in talent acquisition and employee development, and I was really lucky that I had already built really good relationships with some of the leaders that were going to be making decisions on who was going to take that role. So I was able to interview and take this role when it came out in January of 2022. And I really, really love working with students and career services and professors to figure out, okay, so what are you passionate about? What are you good at? And, where are some different things that you can learn so that you can continue to grow in your career? My job is to find out about you and figure out what position we have that could be a good fit for you. I don't want to stick somebody that's a student in a seat and put them somewhere they're not going to be happy and they're not going to thrive. So our job is really to match make your career path. And the cool thing is a lot of people that start with Fastenal don't necessarily know what direction they want to go. And we give you exposure to a lot of different roles so that you have an idea. So you can kind of trial and error those roles. I started with the company in January of 2020, right before the pandemic. And one of the really crazy things was I was worried I was going to be laid off because the pandemic changed everything, especially for supply chain. I was lucky enough to start with a company such as Fastenal that has, in its almost 60 years of business, never done a layoff. So the security of working for this company and knowing that we're not going anywhere and that when tough times happen, they make adjustments to schedules, but they don't make adjustment to people's careers. So they're not going to kick someone off of payroll. They're going to figure out, okay, so what you're doing right now may not be what we need you doing. So we're going to have you learn this piece of it, and we're going to shift you to this until things even back out. I will say when I started with the company in January of 2020, I thought I would be here for maybe 2 years. I'm going on 5 years, and the company really truly won me over because the people and because the leadership listens and they want to develop you and they want you to have a long-term successful career. And that's not always in, and usually not in the position you start in. It's our job to give you the tools to be successful and continue to grow. So I hope that if you ever have any questions about Fastenal or opportunities, you will reach out. I'm happy to introduce you to the local leaders. I'm happy to take you on a tour through our distribution center or our local fulfillment centers. But we've got over 260 locations in DFW alone. So it doesn't matter where you live. We probably have a branch pretty close to you. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a great day.